What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com, back today with another episode of How Would You Fish It? All right, guys, please make sure you hit the like button on the way in. For my current subscribers, long-term subscribers, you guys know the routine. Every week we get together and I will play a video clip of some actual footage of while I'm out on the lake. We will take a look at the water temp, water depth, what type of structure, cover, or what information you are actually seeing on the screen. And from there, determine how would you fish it? What lure would you fish? What size line would you use? Just different things like that, as much detail as you want to put into it. And we just kind of go back and forth and exchange some ideas and thoughts on that in an effort to help everyone get better out on the water. And it may introduce you to some different techniques or some options or ideas that you may not have thought of on your own. So like I said, please make sure you hit the like button on the way in, guys. I really appreciate everyone continuing to support the channel. And if anyone is interested in getting in contact with me, let me see. There we go. There is my Instagram down scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And as always, make sure you read the description on all of the videos, because there's some good information in there, additional information. And make sure you guys get active down in the comment section. So for today, let's go ahead and pull up this video, guys. And like I said, all we're going to do, I will go through, play the video clip. I'll just play it all the way through, let you guys take a look at it. Then I will go back and play it again and just explain what I'm seeing from my point of view. And you just put your information down in the comment section and I will explain to you what lures I would use and the reason why. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this up and just take a look at it here. I'll go ahead and play it all the way through for you guys first. All right, there's some nice brush piles right here. You can see it on the down scan, and that's how it looks right there on the side scan. That's a dock right there. So it has some rocks, brush piles, and everything you need. Let me just fish this for a quick second. It did not look like there's any fish on it. There's some rocks coming into the screen right there, but did not look like there was any fish on it. But let me just go ahead and make a few casts and see what happens. All right, so there we go. That is the first playthrough. Hope you guys took a minute and noticed some of those details in there. There was a lot of good information in that clip right there, guys. All right, so let me just go ahead and pull it back up. I will play it and just kind of talk my way through it of what I am noticing and what I would choose to use to fish it. And I'm interested in seeing what you guys think. All right, let's go ahead and pull this back up. And I'll just play it and kind of stop it whenever it gets to a certain area that I think has some good information. But right off the bat, before I go ahead and play it, you see where I'm kind of pointing at over to the left of the screen where you see that 7.2 feet. Right under that, well, right to the right of that and right where that number 2 is at, those are some brush piles, and they're located directly in front of this dock. Basically, all I was doing was just going down the line, just scanning each one of these docks. And I happened to find one that had some very good looking structure on that. All right, so let's just go ahead and hit the play button on here and get this moving. There's some nice brush piles right here. You can see it on the down scan. All right, let me just mute this. All right, so what I'm pointing at right here is the side scan, and let me pause it real quick. Okay, so where I'm pointing at right now, to the left of where I'm pointing at, you see some lines on that screen. Those lines are actually the posts, the shadows from the post of a dock. And if you look under there, you can actually see that there are some rocks under that dock mixed in with a little bit of brush. And the brush pile where my finger is pointing at is actually the brush pile directly in front of that dock. I would guess and say it was maybe about 5 to 10 feet in front of that dock. So if someone's fishing from that dock, they're pretty much just sitting there, just casting right out to it. So it's obviously something that someone that lives there has put out in front of that brush pile. And as you guys know, those will be some high percentage areas. All right, let's go ahead and continue taking a look at it. All right, so now after we passed this dock, I had kind of stopped the screen for a second so that I could actually put some waypoints there. And right there, what I have zoomed in on is those are some rocks. And as you guys know, sometimes those fish will relate to rocks. So right here in this one area, there's multiple ways that you can actually fish this particular area. So let's just go back and I will show you what I would do. Let me just scroll it back a little bit. All right, so first off, just dealing with these brush piles. So on this lake, you can see we're in 7 feet of water. This is a largemouth lake, guys, and the water is kind of stained. You can't really see that on there. It's not clear water. It's not muddy, but it just has a slight stain to it. So one of the things that I would do is get something that I can, as far as a slow moving bait, I would use a Texas rig. And on that Texas rig, let's see if I could just get this in here. Now this is all right, here we go. All right, so this is let me just pull this up for you guys. All right, so this is a 710 extra heavy with 20-pound fluorocarbon line. So whenever I'm fishing for these largemouth and I'm going to be casting directly into structure, that is what I like to use. And I would use something like a small creature bait. I like using the ZCraw bait, and I have a tungsten weight on here with a bead. Let's just listen to this. I think you should be able to hear that clicking sound on there. But with largemouth and slightly stained water, I like focusing on something that has sound to it and using these darker colors. This is a June bug color right here. And the other thing to keep in mind is you want something that has some good water displacement. So the tail on this, as it is falling up and down and going around the individual branches or cover that is there, these will flap around and have some good water displacement. And that is something, along with the sound, that you can use to get the attention of those fish. All right. And as far as the gear ratio reel, I generally like a higher gear ratio reel whenever I'm fishing slower moving baits like that, so that I can get them back to the boat, or whenever I need to set that hook and try to hurry up and get that fish out of the cover before they actually pull me down into it. That is the number one reason why I like using a fast gear ratio reel. All right, so the other thing that I would put on a Texas rig, especially on a lake like this, Lake Eufaula, where there are some really nice sized fish, is going to be a Zoom. This is the Old Monster 10.5-inch in the June bug color. I know you guys are very familiar with these. Nice ribbon tail worm. Let's see if we can get this whole thing on the screen. There we go. Nice ribbon tail worm, guys. So that in the June bug color is something that I really like. And then also on this lake, what it is also known for, something that's pretty popular, is using like a red bug color. And let me just show you that in contrast to the June bug color. So both of them kind of have a dark profile, kind of will have a nice silhouette color to it. All right, so that is the Texas rig. That would be my first choice whenever I'm going to fish that brush pile. And the next thing that I would want to do, if I'm going to use a moving bait, is going to be a spinner bait. So with the spinner bait, guys, this one right here is a 3/4 ounce. I would throw this if that's something that I'm going to plan on burning it through there, and just using live sonar, you can actually track it. So if I'm going to throw this out there and want it to come along and kind of go on one side of the brush pile, come up and go around it, I can use something like this to kind of get through there a little faster and maybe get a reaction bite depending on the clarity of the water. But the other thing you can do is use a lighter one that doesn't weigh as much, maybe like a 1/4 ounce or something like that, so that you can kind of pull that through the brush pile. And if you feel it starting to get hung up, you can kind of just slack off of the retrieve, just kind of shake it a little bit, and it will be able to make its way through there. So those are the two baits that I would use for that. Now, that area where the rocks came into play, let me just pull that back up real quick. All right, so this area right here where those rocks come into play, so that is going to be closer to the bank. So the water there is going to be a little more shallow. That for me is going to be shaky head, crankbait time. So those are the options that I would use, guys. So you could use like a square bill or something that maybe dives to around 5-6 feet or something like that. But you want to get that crankbait down there and banging off of the those rocks. And with this water clarity, and since I'm fishing for largemouth, for me, I like using something that has a bright color to it, like a chartreuse or a red color, something like that. All right, guys, let me see. Let me go ahead and come back up here. All right, so that is what I would do if I was out on the lake, and the techniques that I would use. What do you guys think? What would you use? What are the baits that you would think of based on the information that you see up on the screen? Let's get active down in the comments, guys. As always, let's have some fun. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel as always. So I will see you guys on the next one. Let me know, how would you fish it? Thanks for tuning in, guys.